had cause to mention this on the show for some time. I think I've even engaged Richard Sky on this, that from a layman's perspective or from the casual Ghanaian's perspective, I felt that the OSP was losing cases that, I'm not saying he shouldn't lose cases, but it sounded a bit strange for me. And it was just back to back to back to back. So it's either the OSP is very bad at its job, because the OSP is not a person, it's an institution, at its job, or there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Look, do we need an OSP? Yes, we need an OSP. It is, yes, it was born out of the MPP's manifesto, born out of the president's call to separate politics from criminal investigations.
As a former Attorney General himself.
Yes, because we all know exactly how difficult it is.
I don't think we needed an OSP.
Well, I think we needed an OSP. Because our system had become one where it was very difficult to separate the politics from justice very clearly. There were too many interests at hand. The perception that the general public held was that there are certain elements of the populace, certain elements of the political hierarchy who can never be touched and will get away with everything because your basic system as it stands was not empowered to deal with them. So the police is afraid.
Look, the president himself explained it when he made the announcement that as a former Attorney General, if you don't decouple the Minister of Justice, if you don't decouple the two positions, so I'm saying that based on his own position as former AG and understanding the limitations of having a Minister of Justice and AG, he creates this office.
Yes.
And then he looks for a person he believes is incorruptible and strong, as Martin Amido, and puts him there.
Yeah.
So he had conviction that this was the way to go.
Yeah.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So why is this strange to you that he's losing cases then?
The point I'm making is, if you look at, these are not substantive cases. These are, I'm not a lawyer, so the lawyers should forgive me, what I would call preliminary processes that enable the OSP to carry out its investigations. As somebody who sits by the curb watching, my expectation is that there would be a certain level of support, and in certain estimates, even in my belief, a certain kind of bias
From the state.
towards getting those things done until we get to the point of a substantive trial where the person can then say, well, this is my case. This is why I'm not guilty. The OSP can say, this is why you are guilty. And then we have a verdict and then we go our way. But we've had the OSP being tripped up at every step, which makes it look like it's almost like the OSP does not prepare properly before showing up in court. So that's why I'm saying that either the OSP doesn't know its job at even the very basic level to lose some of the cases it has lost in court, or something is not right. And I believe that if once we set up the OSP, there was supposed to be, my expectation was, a certain kind of relationship with the judiciary in making sure that certain things happen effectively. Okay? In the countries that have these kinds of elements, some run it through their Directorate of Public Prosecutions, which are powered to do certain things. Others run it through specialized investigative units that do not report through the standard police practices or whatnot. You would find it rare that they lose cases like that. You can check this. You can go to Nigeria and see. Look at the speed with which Gordon Emefiele has been sent through that process. In Ghana, that case will not make it that far. Go to Nordin Hash when he was Director of Public Prosecutions in Kenya until he became Director of National Security. He rarely loses cases at that level where he's looking to investigate somebody and he'll go to court and they say, okay, injunction. No. The case will go through. And then when it gets to the substantive case, you can deal with whatever matter. But this matter of 10-day injunction, you cannot freeze an account. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. Sitting up, it makes it look weird. Okay? And frankly, does stifle the work of the special prosecutor. Hence his body language yesterday. At a point he almost looked like he was in tears, and I can feel it. Second part that gives me cause for concern is even how we, the media, particularly those that are friendly towards the government, report cases when the OSP goes to court. OSP flawed in court. OSP cries mama after losing case.
Today there was a front page story that said "Cry baby OSP."
I mean, come on.
Is
It is not an institution that should be referred to in such language. If they want us to teach the journalism, we'll teach it. There are certain institutions which cannot be categorized. You see, because we, the media, also have a role to play in enhancing the work of the OSP. We are not supposed to be biased towards the OSP, but we are also not supposed to undermine the status of the OSP. So when the OSP goes to court, and then you read the headline, "Cry baby OSP." Why is it a basic? Is the institution of the OSP against the state? Because that is then what you start gleaning. Because you see, like I said, I've seen "Cry baby OSP," OSP crash lands in court, OSP lashed in court. Something that kind of reportage also feeds that perception. So I clearly share the frustrations of the OSP, and I am clearly frustrated as well. You see, because has he made strides? Not the kind of strides we would want. I think that he has been an improvement. Kisia Jebin has been an improvement on Martin Amidu. Martin spoke a lot, talked the tough game, but didn't get a lot done. At least from my work as a journalist and what I have observed of the current OSP, the office has been set up, processes are there, units are there. You could go there today and get work done if you want it done. Okay? In terms of actual outcomes, we haven't had what we want. Particularly also because of some of the reasons that he stated. He can't even move a leg because every time he moves, he faces a judicial barricade. So I think that what the president needs to do, or he needs to do perhaps, have a chat with the Chief Justice. It is essential that the OSP gets along with the judiciary. Again, I am not saying favor him, but I am saying that at the rate at which the OSP has been smacked around in court,
it's on way.
It's on way for me.